Peoplebox is split up into two key problems that we help you solve. The first is on performance, and the second is on engagement. We're going to start with the performance section, and in performance, leaders and executives will have access to two key things. The first is setting clear goals for their team or the organization. So you can start at the very top level and set some clear goals for the organization and know how that big goal flows down through the rest of the organization and other leaders and the people in it, how they can impact that goal. This is best known as an OKR. So all you have to do this is you hit create goal. You just write down what your clear objective might be. Beyond that, you'll set the progress and off you go. And that goal is then set right out of the way in front of you and the entire team that is out to achieve that goal. The first part of performance is goal setting and or OKRs. Giving your managers and your leaders the power to create visibility, clarity, and then accountability around goal setting. The second big part of performance is one-on-ones. There was a fantastic study done by Google. And what they found is that if an employee leaves within the first year, it costs an organization over $50,000 US. 50,000. And the remedy to employees leaving is their managers and the quality of their one-on-ones with that person. Because in those one-on-ones is where people feel like they're known, they belong, and their manager is helping them be successful. Giving managers the tools to perform is key. With Peoplebox, you can immediately add all one-on-ones directly from your calendar, or you can go in, have a live screen to work through with your managers and their direct reports, their talking points, their action items, and you can even take notes privately during a meeting. She is struggling. And then you can then amazing way to then show progress on these as you go. Each new meeting will build and add upon each other. So each team member and the manager can be successful in the one-on-ones. The best part of these one-on-ones is what we found is that most managers don't know what to ask. They go right to business and numbers, and they forget that these one-on-ones are a critical element of making people feel like they belong. So if you're not sure if your managers have the skills, you immediately get to provide your leaders a place to suggest talking points in their one-on-ones to make them more effective. As an example, do you think the feedback given in this team is sufficient? Manager just adds it, and he or she can remember to ask the team member that in the one-on-one. Live notes, unbelievable way to stay on track and perform and connect at the same time with one-on-ones. If this wasn't enough, what it does is each week it tracks the ongoing performance and productivity of team members throughout the year, measured by both the employee and the manager. So here each week before the one-on-one, the manager rates the performance of a team member, the team member rates their productivity, and instantly you get a trend throughout the year versus just waiting for a performance review. These are tools that absolutely matter and create better performance and connection between team members. Okay, that's performance. Now we're going to move to engagement. Can we measure the engagement of our teams and our people immediately? And whether you're expert at surveys or not, Peoplebox gives you and your managers everything you need to measure the engagement of your teams. And we do that in two ways. The first is through surveys. These can go out on a regular basis or a more regular cadence, sometimes once or twice a year. Other times you could go in and let's just take a look at a July survey that was completed. Now we get an engagement number. We also get a manager scorecard broke down by each manager and the participation. Immediately, you can jump in, take a look at the heat map, and get some really great insights so you can go change or modify based on the results. This is not just about measurement. This is about action. We need to know where we are today so we know what to do to improve. And you can slice and dice this as many different ways as you would like. The last thing, and maybe the most important thing, is you get the opportunity to close the feedback loop. See, most survey tools, you send it out, you don't know who responds, what they are. In this case, we might get some feedback that isn't as good as we would like. And we want to close that anonymous feedback loop with our people. So a manager or HR or executive can go in, they can see something they don't like in those responses, and they can reply to that person immediately. Tell me more about this. So now this person feels like not only did somebody hear me, but they want to do something about it. Closing that feedback loop through the engagement. The last thing you can do in engagement is you can run pulse surveys all the time, almost like a Spotify playlist. You can ask 1 or 2 questions immediately to select participants, or scheduling that survey to really get a pulse of your team on an ongoing basis. And the best part is you get to run 1, 2, 3 questions, however often you like, to get that pulse of your team. Fantastic way to measure the engagement so then we can go improve. And the last key module on engagement is called Coffee Connect. And if you or your organization is working in a remote or hybrid model, this is designed and built specifically to create better connection between team members that don't just get to go to lunch or have a coffee. It creates a natural connection right there in Slack to make sure people feel like they belong and they are known. This is Peoplebox. 2 ways: improve the performance and the engagement of your people. And this is the best way we know how. Thank you for your time. We look forward to you using Peoplebox.